This happened about 4 hours ago, 4 or 5 hours ago. This girl on Twitter, Azalea Lexi, she tweeted this out. It was a twit longer saying, if you want the whole account, here it is. Rich and I had a very up and down, on and off friendship and relationship for 4 years that started toward the end of his career on the Call of Duty desk. Our physical relationship started in Columbus, Ohio in 2019 and was a disaster from there. Without going into extensive detail, because that's what would be required to explain it, there were several times during the 4 years that he made it clear he only viewed me as a sexual object. But when I would confront him about it, I would get love bombed and gaslit into thinking that he cared about me and wanted to be with me. This would happen during the single periods of my life, as any time I would be in a relationship and he would text or call me, I would tell him I was seeing someone else. After he lied to me about having a girlfriend for an extended amount of time in June 2021, so I was thinking, real quick, after he lied to me about having a girlfriend for an extended amount of time in June 2021, I think this is when he's dating Mia Malkova. So I'm thinking, was he lying about dating Mia Malkova? Was that not a real relationship or what? Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay. So he was probably dating Mia Malkova, and then he lied to this girl about being in a relationship with Mia. So I guess he was cheating on Mia, maybe? Maybe, I don't know. I didn't speak to him or see him, allegedly. All this is allegedly, by the way. I didn't speak to him or see him until he called me asking to apologize around the end of July or beginning of August. I always had a deep love for Rich as a person and friend. As the beginning of our friendship, he was there for me like not a lot of people are. So I gave him another chance to be friends. He told me he would prove to me that he was working on being a better person and that he wanted to be in my life. Then in October, he began his typical antics and begged me to come to Texas around his subathon. I said no because I did not think it was appropriate to stay with him because I did not want to sleep with him and that I did not trust him. He also came to LA in December of 2021 and asked to see me, but mainly he was only asking me to come up to his hotel. I said no due to the fact that I was not interested in having sex with him. There was not much communication until I was at a French restaurant, AOC, in the Upper East Side on January 30th of this year with 2 girlfriends. Okay, so this is 11 months ago. 11 months ago is when this next part happens. This is an important part. As the night came to an end, around 12 a.m., midnight, I Ubered to Rich's apartment in Williamsburg because he wanted to see me, because he asked to see me. We were in the movie theater in his building and talking, and he repeatedly kept attempting to get me to lay on him. I repeatedly said, I'm not here to sleep with you, and I do not want that. At one point in the theater, he said, I think tonight is the last time I'm ever going to see you. After trying to speak to him for about an hour, our relationship and the awful way he treated me, he just continued to deflect and said there's no reason to talk about it because it makes him feel bad. He said that he couldn't stay in the room. He said that we couldn't stay in the room and needed to go up to his apartment per the apartment rules. I said I don't trust that, and he promised me that that was the situation, that nothing would happen, and that he was respecting the boundary that I set. We get upstairs, and he starts talking about how hot I would be pregnant. He then proceeded to jerk off in front of me while continuing to talk about how he thinks about getting me pregnant constantly. He kept begging me to have sex with him. I said no. He continually attempted to take my clothes off. I kept saying no. I feel like this is the point. I'm just like, retrospect, hindsight. At this point, you just probably leave, right? At this point, you should just probably leave this situation. You just go downstairs, you leave. I kept saying no. At the end, and I mean the very end, he rolled me over and put himself inside of me and finished unprotected. So, this raises a question. Are you naked? I feel like we skipped a little bit here. I feel like we missed something. Because we go from him jerking off trying to take your clothes off. You're saying, no, don't take my clothes off. To now you're, I guess he got her clothes off. She must have been naked somehow, right? Afterwards, I called my friend who I was staying with so I could come back, and she wasn't answering because it was late at night and she was already asleep. Rich said I couldn't stay there. So I called hotels around New York City looking for a cheap room. I asked for the nearest subway, and it was a 20-minute walk. Without saying anything to him, I left and cried in his lobby as he texted me, "You okay?" I never replied. I left, went to a sketchy hotel in Chinatown, and processed it by myself. I left New York the next day and never spoke to Rich again. I'm a 30-year-old woman in a relationship with someone currently. I have had several relationships with people that just simply did not work out, and I still respect these people and would never make a false claim based on a relationship ending. I get nothing out of lying about this. In fact, it's almost expected to receive ridicule when speaking about sexual assault. You can believe me or not, I genuinely don't owe anyone anything, and I'm not here to beg people to believe me. Okay, so there's that. So here, I'll do like the total breakdown. Here we have an allegation. And by the way, if the allegation is true, would you call this rape? What the situation she described, would you call that rape? I would call that rape. I would. So if the allegation is true, I think most people would call that rape, allegedly, if the allegation is true. She posted some tweets. She posted the twitlonger and some following tweets about 9 hours ago. So I'll take a look at the tweets. So she is the blue and Rich is the white. Rich is white, she is blue. Are you in New York? Yeah, I am. Oh shit, how long? Would be cool to hang. I've been here for a bit. I was planning on leaving tomorrow. Oh, what are you doing tonight? My friends and I are just at a bar for a bit. No formal plans, just catching up a bit. Rich then says, if you want to hang out later, let me know. I was already in bed, lol. She said, I would catch up with you, but it's okay if you're already in bed. Rich said, would you want to come and chill here? She said, it's okay. I don't think that's something I'm comfortable with. He said, okay, sad face. Rich said, I would have loved to see you. She said, too bad you're already out of commission, but no worries. And then he said, what would you want to do? And she said, I don't know, whatever, honestly. He said, I have a little movie theater in my building. Would you want to chill there? I don't have a trek in me. Like I don't want to go for a walk. I don't want to be out late. But that way we could chill, and it's not in my apartment. She said, yeah, we could potentially do that. He said, cool. When would you want to come? She said, once I'm done here, I could probably come by. Cool. What time around you thinking, out of curiosity? I'm honestly not too sure, she said. Okay, I'm excited to see you. I'm going to stay up. I'm so excited, haha. She said, seriously, if it's too late, it's not a problem, lol. I don't want you to wait around if you're going to bed. He said, I'll wait up. Send me a pic. It'll help me stay up. She said, LMAO, Rich, seriously. And he said, what? I want to see your face. And so she sent him a photo. Okay, so she sent him a photo. Yeah, phrasing. Send me a pic. It'll help me stay up. Okay. Like, do you think this was him asking for a nude photo or something? I don't really think so. Let me see here. Next. Okay. So she responds later. It's 9:13 p.m. Do you still want me to come by? I just paid at the bar. Yeah. Address? There's the address. Okay. Be there soonish. What time do you think? I'm dropping my friend off in the village. I think I'll be there at 12:40. Okay. Is that okay? Or should I stay in Manhattan? Come over. All right. Okay. So I've seen people saying, oh, well, she posted screenshots. We have text messages. There is nothing in these text messages that implies or even alludes to the fact that he sexually assaulted her or raped her. There is nothing creepy or weird about these messages. The four that we've seen here, if there's more than this, I'm happy to look at them. Nothing in these four is wrong. Okay? I'm afraid to scroll down because I think she's like doing OnlyFans stuff. I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that's it. I don't think there are any other screenshots or any other text messages that there is more. Where? I don't see them. Let me check her tweets and replies and I'll see what she posted, okay? Oh, okay. I see these. Okay. Hold up. So someone accused her of not telling the truth, and she said, yeah, I'm definitely not telling the truth. Okay. So she posted more screenshots here. If I'm out there, she's blue, and once again, Rich is white. If I'm out there or we're in the same city, we can catch up and hang out. If there were some sort of consistency with you, I'd consider getting a hotel and taking a trip, but there's not. I mean, let's be honest. You don't even call me when you say you're going to, and that you really want to talk to me, and then you disappear for days. I'm not trying to get on your case because at this point I honestly don't care and I have no expectations. But outside of being friends, I don't see anything happening. Full transparency, I've been celibate for over 2 years, so I'm not just hooking up with or sleeping around with people, and I'm personally looking for a situation where someone cares about me and wants to put an effort towards me. And then Rich responds with, I want to start effort with each other. I really want to see you. Let's figure something out. And she responds, what do you want to figure out? This is from a different point in the conversation because this is not where we left off. Because it picks up here. This is like out of context. Rich says, I don't think I can. I'm too attracted to you. She says, okay. He says, I care about you a lot, but it's a lie if I say I'm not absurdly attracted to you. She said, I get that, but I'm a person and have feelings, lol. I know, and I care about you as a person. When we have that type of relationship, it doesn't feel like that to me, she says. Rich says, I know that it doesn't, but I genuinely think it's because we're just so different in those ways, and I don't think it's either of our faults. And she's posting photos of the two of them together. Okay. Okay, so those are all of the text messages. I checked her media feed. Once again, there is nothing here that substantiates her claim that Rich raped her or sexually assaulted her. There's just nothing. If Rich did sexually assault her or rape her or anything like that, like I really hope that she's able to find some sort of substantive proof that can confirm that he did that. But so far there's nothing to substantiate her allegations. There's no proof at all. What proof do you want? Oh, I think there's a lot of different ways that she could like prove that this happened to some degree. How she was to prove it? Good question. So if this happened, right, where this incident happened as she described it, if for instance later that night or the next morning or a week later or a month later, she reached out to Rich and said, hey, Rich, like in a text message said, hey, Rich, what happened that night is totally not acceptable. And I want to talk about it with you. Or I need to get an apology from you about that. And then if Rich responded and said, yeah, you know what? Like, I'm really sorry about that. I shouldn't have done that. That would be something at least to substantiate her claims. Or if, this is something a lot of people do, a lot of women will do, is if this actually happened, if the next day or the next week she reached out to a family member or to a friend of hers and said, hey, Becky, you're not going to believe what happened last night. This terrible thing happened, and I need to talk about this with someone. I need emotional support. If there was some text message exchange like that with her friends or her mom or her dad or with Rich himself where she brought this up somewhere, or if there was a filed police report. Yeah, I mean, oftentimes police reports are not filed for stuff like this. Like that's just tends to be how it is. For better or for worse, that tends to be the case. But I think there probably would be some sort of like confiding going on where she messages a friend or messages Rich himself or messages a parent or a loved one and is asking for support. I think there would generally be some sort of paper trail for this, and there doesn't seem to be anything like that. So I think like that wouldn't actually be definitive proof that it happened, but at least it would lend some amount of credibility to her claim that Rich did this to her, right? But right now, all we have is her allegations and a bunch of screenshots that don't substantiate her allegations, and that's it. We don't have Rich's side of the story. We don't really have anything. We don't really have anything other than her allegations that, frankly, don't have anything to substantiate them. Also, I'm just going to be honest. From what I see in these screenshots here, It seems like Rich is being pretty cordial and respectful. Do you guys feel the same way? Like the way Rich is conducting himself in these text messages, I don't think Rich is being pushy. I don't think Rich is being disrespectful. I don't think Rich is even being particularly weird or creepy. I think Rich is being generally respectful in these messages. Like seriously. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if this did happen. I really hope that she's able to get some sort of proof. I really hope she is, because allegations like this, situations like this are really, really, really serious, and no one wants to have a rapist or a sexual assaulter walking the streets freely. No, that's not good for anyone, right? So I really hope she is able to find something that can lend some sort of believability to the things she's claiming. From a streamer point of view, is there a reason a former partner would accuse some of this? I mean, like, yeah, I guess there's like the angle where, you know, she is trying. I don't know, what does she do? She's a Twitch streamer. Give me a second. I don't really know who this person is. Okay, so she streams. This is her Twitch handle. On her bio, it says Twitch streamer. She has streamed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. She's streamed 7 times in the last year. She's streamed 23 hours in the last year, which is fine. By the way, that, like, listen, I'm not looking to bully this girl. That's not what I'm looking at. I just don't know who she is. Okay, so I'm trying to figure who she is. That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. That's not a W. That's not a dunk or something. Okay. So she's making content online. She's an online content creator, right? Without a doubt, between Twitch and whatever else, Twitter and OnlyFans and whatever. She's an online content creator. And so you ask, what would be, if she's lying, what would be the reason to do it? I think the answer would be like for attention or for clout or something. I'm not saying that's the case. I don't think you can say that right now. I think all you can say is that there's not enough information or proof or evidence to really have an opinion right now. That's what I'm saying. I think the only reasonable take right now is that there's not enough information to have a take. That really is what it is. Because right now, all we have is an allegation inside of a twitlonger with nothing to support it. That's all that we have right now. And a bunch of screenshots that she probably thought were damning or condemning that actually aren't. It's like I wonder at all why she felt the need to post these text messages, considering they're so inconsequential. Do you guys agree? Like, I don't really think that. So these prove that she was at the apartment. These prove that she went over to his apartment, but it didn't prove that he raped her, that he sexually assaulted her. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah. I think she just, yeah. And so, to your point, I think she just tried to prove that, like, she knows Rich, like she has met Rich. Yeah, I think that's probably what she was trying to do. I disagree. The absence of evidence to a claim like this makes it more likely to be false than true. If there's a smoking gun, you lead with that. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, you would imagine that if she had something really substantive, that she would have posted it alongside the other things that aren't really so substantive, I guess. She should have waited for him to deny he's met her, then she could release them, TBH. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, she could have dropped the twitlonger and then waited to see what Rich Campbell would do. She could catch him in a lie, because if he said, I've never met that woman in my life, I don't know who you are. Well, now I've got the photos. Then you drop the photos. Then you drop the text messages. Yeah. She could have tried that approach, but I don't know. The sad part is, this is the really sad and frustrating part, is that it seems like the cancel lynch mob has gathered and they're looking to hang Rich. That's what it seems like. And it's like, there is no proof. There's nothing to substantiate these allegations whatsoever. If there are, post them. Like seriously, because sexual assault and rape is really, really important. It's a really, really big deal. It's a very heinous crime. And 100%, if someone rapes someone or sexually assaults someone, they should be held accountable. They should. I'm not trying to downplay sexual assault or rape at all. If it happened, we need to know it happened so the correct recourse can be taken. But there's just nothing to substantiate the allegations here. There's just nothing. There is just nothing. I think the burden you're creating isn't practical. Do we just need to believe every single person that writes a twitlonger in a complete absence of proof or substantiation? Do we need to wholeheartedly believe every single allegation made in a twitlonger and destroy the person on the receiving end? Right? Bro, I could spend a half hour looking into your online persona, write a twitlonger, and have your life destroyed. If the burden of proof is as low as you want it to be, what happens when someone comes for you with no proof? What then? Seriously. Like, it is, let me give you like an extreme crazy example. It is so easy to find someone's real name and last name on the internet. It is so easy. With this information right here, I could find out your last name and first name and probably where you live. Imagine some fucking psychopath decides that they just hate you for no reason, and they call your employer, they call your school, they call your mom, they call your dad, and they say, hey, this guy raped me. Then your life is over. And there's no proof presented, but, well, too bad your life is over. Are you happy with that dichotomy? Are you happy with that meta? Is that the world in which you want to live, where the stuff gets taken as truth in a complete absence of truth? I don't know. I don't know. Well, there should be some credibility. Bro, what you are advocating for is a witch trial. This is a fucking witch trial. There is no proof. And I'm saying, by the way, my only opinion here is that there's not enough information to properly form an opinion. That is it. I'm not saying Rich is innocent. I'm not saying Rich is guilty. I'm not saying this woman is telling the truth. And I'm not saying she's lying. All I'm saying is that we don't have enough information to form an opinion. That's it. That's it. And anyone that is saying that he's guilty or that she's telling the truth, that she's lying, they are outwardly expressing their own internal bias. Anyone that's saying Rich is guilty right now wants Rich to be guilty. These are people that want lives to be destroyed. That is it. That is literally it. That is it. Exclusively that is it. So it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. You know, she at a bare minimum, she could have maybe friends and family, you know, come out and speak on her behalf and say that, yeah, this happened and I talked to her about it 9 months ago. We had a long talk about this. It could be her dad or her best friend, right? Could come out and substantiate it. But until that happens, until there's anything at all to lend credibility to the accusations, I think they can't be taken as fact. That's just not how it works. There's a burden of proof. The accuser has a burden of proof, and it's like a very basic legal principle. You're innocent until proven guilty. You're not guilty until proven innocent. There has to be proof. And I understand online there's sort of this court of public opinion where people are super easy to just watch other people's lives be destroyed from behind a computer screen, but I don't want to live in that world, and I will always speak out against that phenomenon. That's absolutely toxic. Absolutely terrible. It's funny because people are so quick to say, man, cancel culture sucks, bro. Fuck cancel culture. And then they'll see something like this where there's an accusation being levied. There's no proof. There's no evidence to substantiate it at the current moment. There could be later, and you need to be open to that. But right now, there's no proof. There's no substantiated evidence. And everyone's like, yeah, he's guilty. And it's like, hold up, slow down. What are you talking about? Guilty based on what? One person's allegation? What are you talking about? That's not how this works. OTK got rid of him in a heartbeat. That says something. It does say something. The fact that OTK got rid of him in a heartbeat says that they don't want to be associated with any of this drama. Like, in your mind, I want to unpackage this. I want to unpackage this ideal you've presented in my Twitch chat here. Do you think that because OTK got rid of an alleged rapist, that means he's guilty? Do you think because they forced him to resign that means he's guilty? No, of course not. That's ridiculous. That's absurd. It's a business decision. They're distancing themselves from drama and controversy. It's a business. Okay, they've got potentially millions of dollars of sponsorships that they are beholden to. All it takes is I don't know, who are they sponsored by? All it takes is Razor to call up OTK and say, hey, why is there a twitlonger alleging one of your CEOs or one of the OTK founders is a rapist? Can you explain that, OTK? And then it's like, well, So this is why they do it. This is why they do it. It's a very fair business move. It's a very, very fair business move. And then who knows? Maybe a week from now or a month from now, maybe more evidence, maybe more comes to surface here, and then he's back on the staff. I don't know. I will say she's correct to come out and make this accusation if it truly did happen and she simply doesn't have any evidence. She's in an awful situation if that's the case. I would say if someone who knew Rich trivially in Classic and was friendly with him, it's not enough evidence to bring in time. I think here's what I would say. If this truly happened, let's walk down that hypothetical alley for a second. If this truly happened, I really think if you want to handle this right, if you have been victimized in this way, I think the responsible, mature, effective way to handle this situation is to engage in a little bit of entrapment, so to speak, where I think, like, if you want to be totally effective and cover your bases and make sure you have a believable story, if it actually happened, you message Rich and say, hey, Rich, do you remember that time a year ago? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And he goes, yeah, I kind of feel bad about that. Like, I think you kind of need to bait that response if you really want to do this, right? Because otherwise it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell. It's a really hard sell. The weird or missing part of the story is what happened after, why Rich suddenly wouldn't let her stay over, why she wanted to stay with him after he raped her. Yeah, curious, actually. Hold up. Let me read the twit longer here for a second. Okay. I kept saying no. At the end, and I mean at the very end, he rolled me over and put himself inside me and finished, unprotected. Afterwards, I called my friend who I was staying with so I could come back home, and she wasn't answering because it was late at night and she was already asleep. Rich said I couldn't stay there. She wanted to stay. Okay, I don't know if this is indicative of her wanting to stay there or if it's more indicative of her not wanting to walk through New York at 1 or 2 in the morning. Because Rich lives in downtown New York. It's like, okay, at least like this is a place to sleep. Yeah, something terrible just happened. If you want to believe this. Something terrible just allegedly happened, and yeah, but like I'd rather be here for the night with someone I know, I guess, than walk through downtown New York at 2 in the morning. I don't know. Because she said she goes to a sketchy hotel in downtown, in Chinatown. I don't know. I'm like the one part that kind of confuses me is she goes into detail about how he's trying to get he's masturbating and trying to get her clothes off, and she keeps saying no. And then we skip to a scene where she's naked in bed laying next to him. I don't know how we got there, right? That seems like a gap of time was skipped, right? She didn't explicitly say that he raped me, no. But what she described him doing would be, I think most people would categorize it as rape. Yeah. After posting this earlier, she protected her tweets, and then she unprotected her tweets. Now they're unprotected, I think. Yeah, tweets. There's another girl, I guess. Heidi is her name. I don't want to see anything more right now, but Rich Campbell is a scummy piece of shit, and I've experienced it firsthand from April to October this year. OTK is playing dominoes with people being fucking creeps, lol. There's another girl that's saying he's a creep, but I don't think she said anything more than that. Here's my take. All of the opinions I'm giving right now, I'm not even defending Rich. I'm defending due process. Is that fair? I'm not sitting here playing Rich Campbell defense. I'm playing, listen, we can't just operate under the presumption that someone's guilty in a complete absence of proof. That's where I'm at. I don't think that's fair. That's just not right. It's just not right to do that to someone. There's a big difference between Rich being a horny fuckboy and breaking. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. I said this earlier today. Listen, if you want to be fucking people and you want to be sexting, you want to be a fuck boy or a fuck girl, that's fine. Do that to your heart's content, but you need to get consent. You need to make sure that you and your partner or spouse or whatever, that you're on the same page. Yeah, that's very important. If you want to live a life of debauchery, have fun, but you need to make sure that everyone's on the same page. Very, very true. This is the OTK commentary on what's happened, the official statement. Today we learned of troubling allegations made against one of our founders, Rich Campbell. Rich has resigned from OTK effective immediately. It's actually so brain dead that people are taking this as a sign that Rich is guilty. That's like the dumbest take possible. Oh, Rich resigned? Rich had to resign from OTK during all of this? Wow, that means he's guilty. That is insane. That is such a two-head take. OTK stands firmly against sexual harassment and assault, and it is committed to upholding its core values. We'd like to thank our community for the continuous support and share disappointment. Yep. I was going to read some of the comments here. That's what I was going to do. I watched Rich a few times over the months and thought to myself, I don't like this guy. There was always something about him. I just couldn't put my finger on it. Now I know, I guess. Thank you, Twitter. What an insightful comment. What an insightful comment. Very smart. You're very, very smart. Doesn't seem like that Heidi person is a fan of OTK or Mizkif. Let me pull this up. Let me see. Oh. Okay, so Heidi in September posted a comment. This is the OTK announcement of Mizkif stepping down and all the Mizkif stuff. She posted El Bozo. So you can make the argument that she didn't like Mizkif or OTK because she had trouble with Rich. Okay? Who knows? Once again, like there are so many explanations for everything that we've seen that once again, like there's also so many loose ends. You can't form an opinion. You don't have the information to form an opinion or to form a conclusion for certain. You don't conclusively know what happened. That's the problem. Looking forward to hearing both sides of the story. Him resigning from OTK in less than an hour of public accusation isn't necessarily a good look, though. Why? I totally, wholeheartedly do not understand this take that him stepping down from OTK amidst a rape allegation makes him look bad. This is, from OTK's point of view, this is the most prudent business move right now OTK could have taken. 100%. 100%. This is OTK's best business move is to cut him loose for the time being. Right? That's the play. People who think resigning is sus have no idea how a business operates. 100% true. They have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. 100% true. Listen, if there was a woman that called, chat, where do you work? Let's say you work at the fucking paper company. You work at the paper. You work at Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. If some woman writes up a long letter and sends it to your boss about how you raped her, and it's a very detailed letter, and they have let me put it this way. Actually, let's say it was exactly this. Let's say a woman sent exactly this and these text messages to your boss at the paper company, you would be fired. Even though there's no proof, you would be let go. 100%, without a doubt, you would be fired. 99% of you, unless you're like super tight with your boss and you're super cool with your company or whatever the fuck, right? It would be enough. 100%. 100%. Just because it's just not worth the hassle. I was saying this earlier, but there's a couple ways that this plays out, okay? The first way is, let's say there are more screenshots. Let's say, now we're just talking crazy conspiracy hypotheticals, because who knows what happens? We've seen so little information, we've seen so little proof, so little evidence. Who knows? So now we just have to speculate, I guess, if you want to. Let's say Rich has screenshots. Let's say Rich has text messages. And let's say the day after this instance happened, what if she messaged him and said, hey, I had a great night last night. Thanks. That was the best sex of my life. And what if Rich has the text message, right? Well, it's like, right. And I'm saying, like, is that going to happen? Probably not. Probably not. But we've just seen so little. We have so little fucking evidence of anything having happened. Who knows? Who knows? Or conversely, what if people are saying, oh, well, you don't have any proof. And then tomorrow she comes on and says, yeah, I don't have any proof. Well, take a look at this. And it's her text messaging her best friend saying, Becky, you're not going to believe what happened last night. I was with Rich Campbell. And this text message is dated from January 2022. Becky, you're not going to believe what happened. I was with Rich last night and something terrible happened. And then she goes into detail. And then it's like, yeah. So if 11 months ago she confided in a friend of hers talking about this exact instance, talking about this exact story and how Rich did this to her and her friend 11 months ago, are having a back and forth conversation about this happening to 11 months ago, that kind of builds some credibility for her. Because right now she doesn't have a lot of credibility. That doesn't prove anything, but it builds a little bit of credibility. And I'll tell you, with a situation like this is not going to be a criminal case. We all know that, right? Like Rich is not going to go to jail. This is not going to go to court. What matters is the court of public opinion. What matters is making people believe your story. Okay, that's how a lot of the stuff operates, right? It's convincing people on Reddit and convincing people on fucking Twitter and Twitch. And so if she had something like that, would that be convincing? Would that lend to her credibility? Yes, it would. Yes, it would. And conversely, if Rich Campbell had a message from the following day that said, hey, I had a great time last night, let's get together soon sometime, that would lend to his credibility. The problem is we've seen so little, and there's none of that. There's nothing to substantiate either way. There's no proof of anything. All we have is an allegation with no substance behind it. You can't really have an opinion. You can't say he's guilty. Why wouldn't he post immediately if he had shit, or at least just deny and say he would make Twit longer? Right now, I mean, I'll show you what he posted. True? No. This is what he said. About an hour after this stuff came out. I have read the statements made against me today. I will share my side of the story, but need some time to collect my thoughts. OTK has requested that I resign from my position. I have agreed. I will make an update soon. So, but just to clarify, what did we learn from this tweet? Rich Campbell did not step down from OTK on his own. OTK requested that he step down, which makes total sense because OTK is a business. They are beholden to sponsors and advertising revenue, and they don't want an alleged rapist on their staff right now. Okay, fair play. It's a fucking business move. Okay, but beyond that, you say, why didn't he just like deny everything right now? So by collect his thoughts, he's going to think of a statement. Maybe he's got to dig through a year's worth of phone history of text messages, right? Maybe he's got to, I don't know. Maybe he's got to find some Discord. Maybe he's got to screenshot some Discord DMs right now that prove something or whatever, right? Makes him sound guilty. Do you think this makes him sound guilty? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. In fact, I think this is something that everyone said during the Mizkif drama a couple months ago. Everyone said, man, it is so stupid how much all these guys are talking. It is so stupid how much Mizkif is talking. It is so stupid how much Mitch Jones is talking. It is so stupid how much all of these guys are talking. Talk less. Think about what you're going to say. Form a coherent whatever the fuck. Figure out exactly what you're going to say. Find some proof. Find some evidence. And then make an official statement. Okay? Do that. Handle it in the most mature, substantive way. Him asking if she's okay makes me think the evening didn't go too well for whatever reason. Well, we didn't see a screenshot of him asking if she's okay. She said in the twit longer that he said that, but we didn't see any photos of that. And that's something that you think we'd see a photo of. Did we? She said he said that in the twit longer. That's where it is. But did we see that? It's the last one. Oh, okay. My bad. Oh. Okay. So listen. So she says, I'm here, coming. He's going to come let her in. And then the next day at noon, this is afternoon, 12:35 in the afternoon, he messages, you okay? Okay, that's sussy. This, of course, this does, this is 3 hours later. It's midnight? I got confused because she said she'll be there at 12:46. Wait, what the fuck? Wait a minute. Is there something with the time zone going on or what? Or what? She says she'll be there at 12:46. Okay, it's time zone memes. Okay. The date changed. Yeah, I suppose. California time. Okay. So that night after she leaves, add 3 hours to each of those. Okay. So at midnight 46, she says, I'm here. At 3:35 a.m., about 3 hours later, he says, you okay? Now, of course, like, obviously this does not mean that he raped her or that he did anything. No. This does not mean that he... It is sussy. It's like, okay, why is he asking that? Right? Why would he ask if she's okay? Why would he ask that? It's not a good look. Does it mean that her story is 100% true and that he stuck his dick inside of her? No, no, it doesn't. But it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Could have been any multitude of something else. Yeah, it could have been a fight. Could have been a disagreement. Could have been whatever. January 30th. Yeah, it's the next day. It's the next day. It's 3:30 in the morning on the next day. Yeah, not like she hasn't we haven't caught her in a lie. She's not contradicted herself. And this one thing here does not look so great for Rich. But let me give you like a possible explanation here that would be believable, I guess, to a certain degree. In her twitlonger, she says that they have an argument while sitting in the movie theater downstairs, talking about their relationship and that he doesn't value her and whatever the fuck. And then she says that they go up to their apartment. What if she just left after that argument in the movie theater? What if they sat in the movie theater for 2.5 or 3 hours and they had a discussion in the movie theater and they talked about their future relationship or lack thereof, and then she left and they never even went up to the apartment, right? And then after she left, he messaged her and said, "You okay?" I don't know. Could be. You don't know because there's no proof she was even. There's no proof. Why would you discuss it at a cinema? It's like it's an apartment. It's like an upscale apartment cinema room. Yeah, it's not an actual movie theater. It's just like a little like viewing room in an expensive New York apartment. Yeah, is what it is. Once again, I think you can pretty easily infer that there was a negative conversation and that he was checking in on her, or it's not like something negative happened, right? Be it the alleged rape or be it just a negative conversation about the relationship. And after she left, well, I mean, presumably after she left, what if she was in the bathroom, like taking a shit and he messaged her, "You okay?" Like you just don't know. Like, oh my God, you just don't know. Who fucking knows? Who fucking knows, man? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So it sounds like before they went up to the apartment, if they went up to the apartment, they had a bad conversation down in the movie theater area. Yeah, that seems to be the case. But nothing has added credence to her claim that he raped her. If someone left my house at 3 a.m. in New York, and even if it was a great night, I'd ask them if they were okay, though. She said she planned on leaving the next day to start a text. I don't know. I don't know. Once again, I'll say it again. There's nothing to substantiate any of the claims. There is nothing to prove or even allude to the fact that he masturbated in front of her, put his penis inside of her. There's nothing alluding to that at all whatsoever. At all. This does seem to genuinely be the end of their conversation, though. This is January 11 months ago. It does seem like they never messaged each other again after that. Right? I'm pretty sure that's how phones work. I don't text a lot of people, but doesn't it look like that? That this conversation, this is where it ends. It doesn't seem like there's anything after this. And so it's like, okay, well, maybe something happened that would make them not want to talk to each other. Curious, right? I think this being the final message ever works in her favor. Tough to say. Stay safe, withholding judgment on Rich and all, but let's not pretend like some streamers haven't acted real eccentric over the years. A lot of weird behavior over the years that normally put together poised people wouldn't engage in. Kind of a critique on some streamer culture in general, not including you and certainly not everyone. True. Like, well, actually, let me ask you this. Do you think streamers in general are more ill-behaved than your average person? Or do you think that streamers have, do you think it's sort of like a viewership bias? No, hear me out. Do you think streamers are more ill-behaved than your average young adult? Or do you just think you see it because it's being broadcast, right? If Billy Joe down in Alabama, does something reprehensible or does something fucking stupid, you don't hear about it. You don't see it. If some dumb fucking 20-year-old does something that's dumb and fucking stupid, you don't see it. You don't hear about it because it's just another dumb fucking 20-year-old, right? I'm not sure that streamers are acting stupider than most people. I think it's just an exposureship bias. You just see it, right? You just see it. Everyone knows if Brad Pitt cheats on Angelina Jolie or whatever the fuck, but no one hears about you cheating on your wife, right? Because it's just like you're just a normal dude and no one gives a fuck about you, right? So So I don't know. You'd say like, oh man, dude, all these celebrities are cheating on their wives. You know, if your only inference of celebrities was reading TMZ magazines at the grocery store checkout, you'd be like, man, why is every celebrity fucking crazy? All these people are doing fucking coke and they're like fucking cheating on each other and they're all getting fucked. But it's like, well, you know, and so before I go on with that, LSF is effectively the TMZ or like the TMZ magazine of streamers, right? And so if you get all your news from LSF, you're like, man, wow, streamers are fucking morons. But it's really only a select few, I think. It's because you never hear about the reasonable streamers because they're not making the same waves that all the dumbass streamers are. Like for instance, I saw this clip on LSF. It was from this. Yeah, it was from this. This is the streamer, the YouTuber that got accused for racism the other day. He was making, you know, Chinese noises. He was been racist to some Chinese guy. And it's like a week later he does this. He's at the zoo and this is a monkey in the cage. It's like, what are you doing? Like what are you do? Are you missing your fucking frontal cortex? What is wrong with you? And this is a week after the fucking racism stuff. Jesus, dude. Like, what are you doing? And so, yeah, if your only inference of streamers is watching LSF and seeing clips like that, you're like, wow, man, streamers are fucking stupid, right? But I think you just tend to see the most stupid ones because those ones garner the most attention, right? Yeah. Because I'll tell you, bro, back in my early 20s, before I was a streamer, I was going to school. I lived in this college bro house. There were five guys living in a bro house. You wouldn't believe there was stupid shit that these guys were doing. Good God. But no one saw because they're just like average college kids. You wouldn't believe the level of stupidity that goes on inside a college house, a college guy house. It's just no one sees it or no one cares because they're just average dumb fuck guys, right? So anyway, so yeah, that's the Rich Campbell drama recap. So I think right now there's just not enough proof to really form an opinion, really to form a conclusive opinion. I'll say this though. Given the way Twitch is, given the way Twitter is, given the way Reddit is Rich gonna recover from this? Is Rich gonna recover from this? Unless Rich Campbell has messages from her saying something to the effect of like, hey, I'd love to meet up again, or hey, we had a great night last night. I'd love to meet up. I'd love to hang out again. Unless he's got something like that, showing that she still had interest in him after this alleged event, I think he's not gonna come back. Probably he's not gonna come back. Josh 2.0. Let's be very clear. There were paper receipts. There were a lot of receipts of what Josh did. Okay, the shit that Josh got in trouble for, it was more than just allegations. Okay, there were like 10 different women. All of them had their own individual screenshots and individual proof. There was an abundance of proof from like 10 different people. Okay, there was an ongoing police investigation. There was an ongoing rape. Like this girl actually went to the police, and there was an ongoing rape investigation. Okay, so like there was a lot to this. There was a lot to this. Very different than the Rich Campbell thing. I wouldn't even compare those two. It's not fair. It's not fair to compare those two. It 100% is not. Rich was annoying as fuck anyway. Bro, Zara, listen. Guy, listen. Just because, like, I hate this, okay? Just because you don't like Rich, or just because you don't like Rich, or you have a problem with Rich, does not mean that you should be happy about him experiencing a rape allegation. An unsubstantiated rape allegation, mind you. Does not mean that you should be like, oh, well, too bad, bye, bitch. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because I'll tell you, like, the reality of this situation is, first off, a woman was raped. That's not good. Or second off, there is a false rape allegation against a man, and now his life is ruined. Is unjustly ruined. Those are the two outcomes here. A woman was raped, or a man has had his life ruined unjustly. Those are the two outcomes, both of which are really fucking bad. Not good. And I'll say it again. I see this so much. People people are so vitriolic about this. Fuck cancel culture. Fuck cancel culture. Cancel culture sucks. Like, and then the second someone that you might not like, or the second someone that annoys you or whatever, a content creator that you don't appreciate, is on the receiving end of cancel culture, you're like, yeah, well, fuck him, whatever. I'm happy to see him go. Hold up, whoa, pump the brakes on that, okay? Like, that's a bad approach. That is a bad approach. If legitimately, if you're someone right now that is saying that Rich Campbell's guilty, you are a really big, like, you are a toxin in society. You are a poison in society. These allegations are, at the moment, completely unsubstantiated. There is no proof, even alleging, there is no proof even circumstantially that is showing that he did this, right? And so if you're like, oh, well, yeah, but anyway, Rich is guilty, you are a toxin. You are a poison. You're like, it's really bad. I feel very strongly about this. It's totally not good. Totally not good. Issue is you can rarely prove essay. Listen, like there are multiple avenues of circumstantial evidence that might not be enough to prove it 100% on their own, but at least would add some amount of credence to the allegation, right? There's nothing. There is next to none circumstantial evidence. Next to no.